everybody knows I'm recording, and everyone knows I'm a Zoom virgin unless it's a preschool Zoom. So bear with me. I know how to do
No,
it.
it's all good.
Yeah, okay. And so I'll probably use this for something afterwards. So let me click it on, pin myself for a second just for recording purposes, and then we'll get
He apologizes.
Yeah, I'm going to constantly be apologizing for my lack of being tech savvy when it comes to these new technologies. So anyways, super excited to have you all here, and I think we're going to have some other folks joining us as well. Obviously, Massimo Sensi from Sensi Wines. He's a fourth generation wine producer. Massimo and I started chatting actually in February about finding a way to communicate the message of his wines to folks. And then I think we all know what happened a couple weeks later. The world shut down. Italy was one of the first. So I feel really grateful that we're all able to connect in this way virtually, if not face to face. The United States, we're having a really difficult moment at this time, and the world is also having their own difficulties. So with that said, I just want you to know that I'm very grateful that you're spending the day with us at this moment of time. And I've always thought of wine as a great escape. So let's escape for a little bit to Italy, to a time that we're also familiar with, where we get to enjoy wine and talk to wine producers and have a beautiful moment together. So with that, I want Massimo Sensi just to tell us a little bit about, obviously, the history, the legacy of your wines, and what life has been like for you all in Italy at this current time.
Okay. First of all, welcome to everybody who's on the screen, and also people that I cannot see and joining us. It's a big pleasure to be virtually all together. I see someone with images of vineyards. I'm not sure if you are in the vineyards or if there's
no, it's an image of Sicilia. So
oh, fantastic. That's nice anyway. And but there's also some nice sea or beach, so it's good as well. Anyway, my name again is Massimo Sensi from Sensi Winery. I am the fourth generation of my family. We started to work in the wine business exactly 130 years ago, 1890 exactly, when my great-grandfather, Peter, started dealing with wine and moving around, delivering wine to the families, kind of Amazon in a very early stage. And so this kind of familiar business developed along the decades, the years, and then it came to the 80s when I came on board with my brother, and we started the export because of the knowing all the languages, etc. So we started traveling and making placement in every country. And today, let's say that Sensi is a nice reality, I would say. We are a leader in the world for Chianti, with a presence for most 20 years in the top of best-selling Chianti in the world. As you know, Chianti is one of the most important wine in Tuscany. And also we achieved other important goals, like producing Prosecco in the gold bottle. We achieved the goal to be one of the top 15 most desired Prosecco in the world. And plus we are among the top 5 producers in Tuscany. And all this said, we're still a family. We still work like a family in the good and the bad way.
Tell us the bad ways.
Yeah, exactly. But it's the passion and the enthusiasm that my grandfather put in the business is still in our principle, together with the honesty and the way of acting. People's asking me normally, why you consider you special, different from other producer? I always say, well, first of all, because of the wines, but also because our way of doing, it's just unique. I mean, we have a kind of way of having relationship with people, which is very familiar, very easygoing, but we're very straight on respecting our commitments. We're very straight on respecting our consistency. And I think consistency is a word that describes us very well. All over this under 30 years of history, we have been very consistent to deliver what we promise, quality first, and then also any other support that our partners have always asked of us.
And Massimo, I think a lot of us right now, we're wondering what is happening in Italy. What is life like for you? How is your business doing? And how have you had to evolve or pivot given the current climate?
Well, as you might have heard by TV and social media, life in Italy has been quite tough in the last 2-3 months. You know, especially the north of our country has been dramatically affected by the virus. We're not sure why, especially that zone. We think, or most of the experts think that has been because of the pollution. Fortunately, the rest of Italy, it's more countryside, like Tuscany, and so the distance is natural. So if you want to meet somebody, you really need to have a social distance from people, and this has probably made things easier for us. And well, in terms of business, has been tough as well. The wine business with restaurant closed has been really difficult, and probably some restaurant won't even reopen. We as a winery, going back to my presentation, let's say that we have been lucky, but not because all the work done in this long history is paying back now, for example, because working worldwide, all our partners are supporting us, we're supporting them, and believe it or not, you know, we didn't feel any difference before the virus, during the virus, and you know, I believe even after the virus. So I think that, you know, all what I explained to you, it's also helping us in this period.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm glad that you are still able to keep the winery afloat and keep selling great wine, and we're excited to try some of it. We have some folks at home that are just wine lovers, and obviously a lot of wine journalists here that have tried your wine. I think it would be great if we could utilize maybe the chat feature if people have questions, and we can get the questions that way, and we'll have you present each wine. And then at the end, we'll open up forum and everyone can ask different questions. But the first one we're going to start with is the 𝐬𝐻𝐿 Prosecco. It's from Treviso Doc. I tell a little joke. So Massimo sent all these wines to a lot of us, which was very nice. And I lined them all up. And I have 4-year-old twins. I know you probably know that. And they went running up. They're like, I want that one. I want that one. So clearly you've done well with the packaging, Massimo, but obviously we're focused on what's inside the bottle. Can you tell us a little bit about the unique presentation of the wine?
Oh, this one is a classic example of our development in the proposal of the wines, because I think there are a lot of wine lovers in the world. I mean, from expert, but mostly even simple, you know, curious people that want to come closer to wine, but they're a little bit shy because they don't know which criteria to use to choose a wine at the first sight. So the principle that I developed is, let's create something that, you know, especially for women, as an attractive packaging, and as also luxury packaging. And that came at the idea of making the 18K. This bottle, of course, has a unique wine inside, very nice and pleasant Prosecco, but the packaging is made by varnishing a bottle in a way of the Venetian style. So each bottle is varnished one by one, so it's different from each other. They are different from each other, and the varnish is very strong, artistic, and 18K means, in fact, the gold, so the carat of the gold, but also the age of the celebration. In Italy, when you are 18, the girls make a big celebration, and the men too, and the boys too. So we wanted to create something for the young people and for all people that want to try wine and be attracted by, have a strong point to come to try the wine. So, and I think it has been a success. As I said before, it's one of the most 15 desired wine according to the Drinks Business magazine that you can find even online on our website. So it's a big success for us, and it's bringing our name around the world because it's our most distributed wine in the world.
And Caterina would love to know if you could talk a little bit more about the estate where the Prosecco is produced.
Well, the Prosecco is produced in Valdobbiadene, which is the hill where the Prosecco appellation born. So we have two center there. We have vineyards there that they produce for us, because as you know, we are from Tuscany, but we decided to invest in the Prosecco area. We are producers, and we source the grape. We do everything in Valdobbiadene, so we make harvest, fermentation, and sparkling process there. And the goal has always been, as usual, for us, make something that stands out. So not only the gold that you can see is the point of distinction of the wine. It's the one inside the bottle, more shining that the outer packaging.
And tell us what's a typical pairing in Italy. Paint a picture for us, Massimo. You're drinking the 18K. Where are you? What are you doing? Who are you with? What are you tasting? What are you eating?
Well, in fact, the 18K style, it's matching the fashion, the Italian fashion lifestyle. So especially for women that they like to dress in a glamorous suit for a night, or for at the opera, or for a dinner. So it's a typical bottle that you can use for celebration, for a love meeting. I don't know if I can say this.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want. Yeah, beauty of Zoom, whatever.
For Christmas, for big parties, and most important, I shouldn't say this because I should say, oh, it's super expensive. I don't know if you can afford this, but I mean, I'm pleased to say that every wine that we're doing, we try to make it more affordable possible, because we believe that first point to attract people is that a wine should be attractive, but is also to be affordable. Otherwise, it remains a dream. I mean, we don't want to sell. You don't want to sell dreams, but people has to buy the dream. I mean, otherwise, our work is useless.
Yeah, attainable luxury. I guess everyone's probably trying the wine. I won't put anyone on the spot because I hate it when people do that to me. But if anybody wants to speak up who has the wine, who's tasted the wine, and they want to chime in, fantastic. If not, we can have Massimo either talk a little bit more about Glera and the grape and give a little bit of an overview for folks who aren't familiar, or we can move on to the next. I'll let you all decide on that.
Sure. I can add that the Prosecco is made by Glera. Glera is the typical grape of the Prosecco, is a DOC. And the big new is just that yesterday, the Prosecco Rosé has been approved by the Prosecco Consortio. So officially, the Prosecco Rosé is born. The appellation says that we have to use the Pinot Noir together with the Glera, and so it will be a blend, and it will be available for around the end of this year. Yes, so it's a big new. Just it's
Breaking news happening here.
Breaking news, exactly. Breaking news.
Breaking news on Zoom.
So you are the first one to know. Okay.
Fantastic.
On this channel. On this channel.
Yeah. And thank you for that. Everyone loves rosé, obviously. Rosé, Prosecco, a party in a bottle. Melanie, Dallas Wine Chick, aka, she wants to know if you have different winemakers for the different styles of wines that you produce, because you do have a lot of SKUs.
Well, first of all, yes, we produce, it's true, we produce a lot of wines. The main reason is that we're selling and distributing worldwide wines, we're very careful to understand the taste of each, taste profile of each country, of each, you know, ethnic situation. And this is one of our secrets for the success, because you know, most of Italian producers, I'm not critical. I mean, I'm just saying what everybody knows. So they say, "Oh, this is my wine." You know, you have to understand. If you don't understand, I'm sorry. I mean, but this is my style. So we're not so arrogant. We try to understand. We try to come closer, and we try to make not a compromise. Is not correct. We try to make different styles. We have in Italy a lot of vineyards that we can use, and we planting new vineyards every year. This year we planted, for example, 𝐾𝐨𝐧'𝐭. 𝐾𝐨𝐧'𝐭 is, in English, we can translate like cherry grape. The taste is very cherry style. So this is very rare in our region, but we wanted to recover this old grape and create something unique. So, you know, because it matches the taste profile of 𝐾𝐨𝐧'𝐭 matches certain palate in certain part of the world. So it's important for us to have a wide you know, choice of grapes to, you know, create blends, to create even you know, single grape wine for each country where we sell.
And do you have different winemakers for each? How does that work? Do you have one winemaker that sort of heads different wineries or wines, or how does that work? How many winemakers do you have, I guess?
We have a team, internal team, plus we have let's say one of the top consultants in Italy, Lorenzo Landi, which is awarded like best Italian enologist 2015. And by Dr. Wine, which is a renowned journalist in Italy. And with our team, we used to make, to study, to make projects. And, you know, it's a teamwork. I mean, we're very critical each other because we want to reach the real, you know, best quality. And also we cooperate with university. Winemaker University in Italy. In fact, one of the wine that we're going to taste later, it has been made together with the Winemaker University. So this is happening more and more because we want to develop more innovation in the winemaking. And
Allison says that she loves Dr. Wine. She works with him a lot. With Danielle and Marina, they do events here in the United States. So hopefully we'll be able to all go to events soon and we'll get to meet good old Dr. Wine. James, the wine guy, wants to know how many bottles of 18K you produce.
Well, we produce quite a big number, about 3 million bottles per year. Yeah, we make different varietal. We make Prosecco, Pinot Noir Rosé that will be turned to Prosecco Rosé. And then we produce also a Blanc de Blanc. We just launched the organic 18K. So, well, 4. The range is made of 4. Yeah, actually, that's the range of 18K. And you can check on the internet; is everywhere, really.
And I will hold up this bottle, and you can describe it for us. I'm the Vanna White, because I'm holding the bottles. And is it, wait, hang on, it's Tua or T, how do you say, Tua Rosa?
Tua Rosa. Tua Rosa in Italian means your rose. Oh. So again, it's another wine dedicated to the female word for the same concept, you know, create something that is attractive for the female female public, because at the end, to be very straight, the girls, the women are the ones that they go to shop in the supermarket. They go to shop to the food store, and they are all afraid. My wife is the same. She's afraid to come back home and say, "Oh, sorry, do you think I made a good choice?" So, I mean, basically, we created a rosé that has to be fresh, enjoyable, trendy. And in fact, if you see, the bottle has a particular bottom of the glass that reminds a rose. Yeah,
Oh, yeah. I don't want to spill it over, but yeah, we can see at the bottom there. Yeah.
Exactly. Is the picture is a rose shape. It's an exclusive bottle, and the wine is made of Sangiovese with light touch of on skin during fermentation. And the color is very, very light. We could say much similar to Provence style. And the taste is quite fresh, nice acidity, well balanced with the aroma. It's not super powerful rosé. It's something that you can drink as aperitivo in the summertime. You can enjoy with fish, and it's delicate. Balance, as all our wines, we pay a lot of attention to the balance of the wines.
Well, Thea says she can drink a lot of this wine. And James wants to know, what method do you utilize for this Rosado?
For the rosé?
For the rosé.
Well, we made a traditional fermentation at low temperature with a soft contact on the skin. And, it's something that is very important, especially temperature during fermentation, because you need to make sure that the wine keeps is good smell, fruitiness, and the winemaking team made a big job on that. And we launched it in Italy last year, exactly 12 months ago, and took off immediately worldwide. And again, it's another result that I'm proud of.
And was Allison would like to know if 2018 was your first vintage of the rosé?
Yeah, 18 was the first vintage, and now 19 has been released, and it's.
And I want to pop back to the Prosecco, because we have some wine consumers that are following along, and Scott would like to know what you pair this Prosecco with when you're at home or in Italy.
Prosecco, one of the most, the biggest reason of the success of Prosecco is that it's versatile. In Italy, we used to drink Prosecco even like aperitivo. As you know, we open a Prosecco and then we start. We say, so let's have a Prosecco. And then we start. It's opening of every meal, every dinner or lunch we're having, even in home. When we go to pair the wine, we used to pair with fish or pasta with light dressing, like fish dressing, all kind of fish, crabs, and sometimes depends on the acidity. If you use the extra dry or use it very dry, you can choose different kind of meals, because of course, more dry, it's more you can have with mussels, or the sweeter one. Extra dry you can have with different kind of fish. You can have with salmon. It's really, I mean, in the summertime we pair everything, because we just want to have this freshness, this nice acidity with white fruits flavor that give us refreshing feeling.
I think my new motto in life, and probably all of us now, before we start our day, maybe 4 p.m., let's have a Prosecco. Okay, now we can begin. Let's have a Prosecco. Now we can go.
You can have every time except breakfast.
I'm like,
Yeah,
oh,
and then,
you're waiting till 4?
well, yeah, I mean, yeah. You know, I don't know. Yes, I'm waiting till 4 p.m. with small children in the house.
For example, the rosé, the rosé Pinot Noir is fantastic with you know, strawberries, for example. So there are a lot of, you know, pairing that you can do.
And Allison wanted to know was, obviously we said 2018 was the first vintage. Was the first vintage of the rosé 100% Sangiovese?
Well, the 18.
Yeah, but it was 100% Sangiovese, or was there a different sort of?
No, 100% Sangiovese.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so no changes from the 18 to the 19.
No. It's just a straight Sangiovese.
Okay, fantastic. And then I think we can move on to the red unless anybody has any questions for Massimo. I don't see any in the chat. Anybody want to unmic and speak? No. Okay, cheers. We're moving on to the red. I'm going to grab it here. It's the Governato. And we'll have Massimo tell us a little bit about it.
Okay, Governato, first of all, we need to understand the name to better understand the concept of wine. In Italy, governo, it's like government, but it's nothing to share with politics. In Tuscan dialect, governo means feed. So feeding a baby, we say we give governo. To grow someone to the older age, you need to feed him. And that's very proper for this wine because this wine is made with double fermentation. The first fermentation is a normal fermentation. The second fermentation is made by using dry grapes, dried in a room with wind, with artificial wind. So this grape, once dried, they increase the concentration of sugar and they lose water. So the grape itself loses water, increase the sugar. And when you press these grapes and you add the moist to the wine that have made the first fermentation, it's like you add the power, it's like you add fruitiness. So the second fermentation starts with the dry grapes, and the wine that comes out at the end is a super bodied, concentrated, fruity wine. At that point, that is a very old technique in Tuscany called Governo, as the name says. And normally the technique ended like this. We added another couple of steps, which is the aging. We wanted to refine the wine with a little aging. So we put 4 months in French oak, medium toast. And then with the University of Winemaking, we made an experiment in the amphora, in a very big amphora, 1,000 liter. In this big amphora, clay amphora, we wanted to understand the difference of oxygen exchange between the wood and the amphora. And we made this experiment with the Winemaker University of Viterbo, which is close to Rome. And this experiment has been certified, as you can see in the bottle. And I could say that the result is, again, very nice. The wine is bodied, but has a structure that allows the wine to be drunk even later, not really just in time like most of the Governo. So this is the description basically of the wine. That you can, I hope you can find the same description when you taste the wine.
And talk about your goal to going towards organic and making your wines in organic wines in production. Which wines are organic, which aren't?
Yeah, that's a good question, Monique. This is our next challenge because we turn all our vineyards to organic. This year, in 2020, we made the conversion. We achieved the conversion because the conversion of a vineyard from regular to organics takes 3 years. In these 3 years, you suspend the use of pesticides, and you have to turn everything to, just copper. And every time it rains, you have to use copper again. So it's very expensive, very much, keep you busy anyway. But after these 3 years, you are sure that the plant and the grapes are free from pesticides. At this point, you are certified officially organic. So we start from 2020 vintage to really focus all our production on organic. So the Governato will be organic, for example. And I believe that organic is going to be bigger and bigger, as much as vegan that we're doing on another wine. So the sensibility of the wine lovers and consumers is more and more. I see the young generation. It's more and more towards shopping organic. Everyone of us wants to be safe. And the other thing that we pay attention is health with sulfide-free wine. We're making a Sangiovese sulfide-free, which is very important for people who are allergic to sulfides. And again, it's a difficult technique to make it because you need to protect the wine from oxidation that you can do only, by working at low temperature from, when you harvest until you bottle the wine. But it's a wine that it's really an explosion of fruits because, there's no sulfide to delay the taste of the wine. It's just fruit straight to your palate. And it's another great wine that we're making.
And can you explain for us, as Caterina wants to know, wasn't the Governato one of the wines that's produced on the Fattoria? Help me say it because my Italian's terrible.
Fattoria, no, that's correct.
Right. So this is this one. So, but it says Sensi on the label, but it's produced at the farm. Can you help?
Yeah, we have Fattoria in Italy means farm, so winery. So the Fattoria is a place where we do our, let's say, innovation. Well, let's say it's like an experiment filed in our production where we really, challenge ourselves to make better and better wines. So everything which is innovative is produced in our Fattoria Clapiano, which is in Vinci. Vinci is the place where Leonardo da Vinci, the genius, born. So there we have 60 hectares of grape, Tuscan grapes, local grapes, with and it's where we do also plant new grapes every year to create, as I said before, to create new wines, new challenges.
And Massimo, I misunderstood Caterina's question. So Caterina, you want to just ask your question? Because I have a tendency to read emails and text wrong. Anyone can tell you that. So what was your question?
No, I think you replied in the end. So my question was like, but you said that Governo is a part of the Fattoria di Clapiano. But if I can add another part to this question now, or should I wait until the end?
No, ask away. And anyone's free to ask questions, I think, at this point. I just wanted to make sure we got through the tasting.
So I wonder a bit, because, as reading up on you, I realized that Fattoria di Clapiano is one of the kind of 𝐾𝐿𝐵𝐿 of your wine business, totally. But you don't speak very much about Fattoria di Clapiano. So I wonder, because is this the place, as you said right now, where most of your more top wines are produced, like the more, so is the Fattoria di Clapiano the one who is an organic, or is like also the vineyards in Veneto organic, or is it just a part in Tuscany that you mean is all organic, or?
Okay, the Fattoria di Clapiano is, let's say, the core of our vineyards in terms of top-end production. So it's where we produce the most innovative wines, but also where we produce the more local wines. Because again, going back to the style of the wines, of course, we try to make, wines that you can drink in every situation. But Fattoria Calapiano really produced something really local. That means that the taste is not easy to understand, but because it comes back to a tradition which you can only understand if you visit us, or if you matches these wines in special situation. That's why has been projected to create very specific wines, and now we turn it to organic, and we getting more and more popular. We're selling the wine of Fattoria Calapiano are sold actually only in Massachusetts. Also, the other reason are very expensive. The production is very limited, so that's why they're less popular in terms of being spread in every market.
Still they're like the part of your identity, no? Because they're kind of linking to the local territory, and you're kind of planting the more local grapes there, which is like, I guess, Sangiovese, Canaiolo, Colorino, etc. So I mean, somehow it's like the core, as you say, of your business. But still, do you sell mostly in Italy, or do you sell more abroad also? You said you were in Massachusetts.
It's a long project to develop. It's been a long project to develop Fattoria Calapiano, because we wanted to reach the very, very, very peak of each wine, and it took more years. Now that we think we achieved what we wanted, we started to distribute worldwide, and actually the distribution is quite good. I mean, the quantity available of these wines is very small, so we try to distribute more possible, but we cannot allocate too much in every country. So we try to.
No, of course. No, I just thought it was very interesting, because I mean, it seems like a really kind of core activity. So, but it wasn't really easy to understand that on your website, that this is actually the historical center of your business, which I thought was very interesting.
If you look at the style of the wines, Catherine, it really makes a picture of our identity. You're right, because once you taste those wines, you understand that there's no compromise. I mean, they are straight. Yeah. So,
No, I think it's a very nice Provenato. So thank you very much.
You're welcome.
We're free. Anyone's free to open up and ask questions, and I'll read some on the chat on the side. But Melanie wants to know the price point on the wine, and I think we have it's around, is it $29.99, around $30? Is that correct? That's the price I have. Yeah. And then how many cases or bottles do you produce? Total production of the wine?
For Provenato, we produce not very much, 40,000 bottles. Yeah, and I must say that in US, a good part of them are located, because we sell in New York, we sell in Massachusetts, Florida, we sell in in all the states that you have the list, Monique.
Well, I have someone here who just messaged me that you are not selling in Minnesota. So what is that going to happen? We're going to
We'll do. I mean,
soon, Minnesota. We're going to create the
coming soon. You can say coming soon.
Coming soon.
We're working to expand our presence in US. Of course, we're selling mostly in the East Coast, and we're trying to get more states. We actually have about 17, and again, it's a work that requires time. We using very familiar distributors. We're not using the big ones. We're using people that are working like us, like a family. So we are a family with our distributors, but of course, it's a criteria of choice that takes time to add the new ones. But time by time, we can do.
And of course, I'll have to ask the Texas question. How's your Texas distribution, especially Dallas?
Well, unfortunately, Texas is not in the map at the moment. So if there's someone who's interested, we can definitely try to make him happy, and we can link. We can try to create distribution, of course, because everything starts from demand of the wine.
And Cody asked if the wine was 100% in amphora or if it was blended.
No, it was blended. It was blended. That's a good question. So we made part of experiment to see the exchange, and then it was blended with the rest of the wine.
Mm-hmm. And you want to talk a little bit about some of the other wines that you do produce? Because we have a whole bunch of wines. They're kind of back here. I don't know if you can see. So I'm excited to taste some of those, and maybe we'll do this again with some other of your SKUs. But talk to us about some of the other wines. Obviously, you have a vegan wine and some more.
Well, yes. For example, first of all, being the largest Chianti seller in the world, we are specialized in Chianti. So Chianti, we do several profile, and the vegan Chianti is one of the most popular now. We rediscovered the old recipe of Chianti, which originally was made by 2 red grapes, Sangiovese and Canaiolo, blended with 2 white grapes, Malvasia and Trebbiano, in about 8%. And this style originally was was more dry. The color was lighter, so has been abandoned in the past 40 years to leave space for more bold wines. But recently we rediscovered this because with the new winemaking techniques, we wanted to show that it's possible to use that recipe with white grapes and create a balanced wine with nice acidity and nice elegance. And that's what came out, you know, a very elegant red wine that you can drink even with fish food, not only with big meat, the big steak that you all imagine normally when you think about Tuscany and wine.
And James has a fun question. He wants to know what your preferred wine glass silhouette is for this wine and for all your Toscana wines.
Sorry, can you ask again, please?
Okay, hang on. Now I know my contacts are not working that well. Hang on, let me read closer. What is your preferred wine glass silhouette for this wine and all of your Toscana wines?
Which is my favorite wine?
I think he means which wine glass. James, you want to chime in, or am I asking your question correctly? Which
branded,
wine?
Sensi branded glass.
What kind of glass?
Sensi branded glass.
Sensi branded.
Because I have
Good
my
answer.
own.
Yeah.
It sounds like any glass.
No, we use Riedel glasses for for the show, for the tasting. They are very good, and they have a big variety of good glasses. I mean, the glass is very important, especially for the feeling in the mouth, and we know that there are a lot of a lot of wines have his own glass, So, but I think a good crystal glass is always important for wine.
And what's next for you all? Obviously, we're sort of feeling like we're all in a little bit of pause, a moment of pause, and it's hard to think about even what's coming tomorrow, let alone what's coming next year. But do you have any plans for the upcoming year, or what do you hope to accomplish with getting the mission or the word out about Sensi Wines?
Well, thank you for this question, Monique. I like to plan my future quite in advance. So, I mean, most of the people now say, oh, the virus, is affecting us because of these 2 months. I mean, I look beyond, I trust in the future, because I see that apart from this dramatic period, but I always see that there's a big attention to the wine from the general public. If you watch internet, you can see more and more people discussing wine. If you look, and in Italy especially, but even worldwide, more and more people they want to discover wine through drinking, buying, but also traveling, which is important, because wine is not something that you can drink online. You have to travel, open a bottle, see where the wine is coming from. And for this reason, we believe that it's really important that have, you know, a knowledge of wine that you can have only tasting wines. Tasting is the first method of learning wine. I mean, books are not my favorite when it's about wine. So you have to drink, open bottles and drink, and make your own opinion. In terms of future project, we just started a project on Brunello di Montalcino. We have a place in Montalcino, which is a 500 years place, where we have developed a special Brunello. And in this place, we have a small agriturismo with a swimming pool, and we would like all of you come and enjoy our Brunello and present this new project. And Brunello, it's another one from our portfolio, which is getting more and more attention. And of course, it's expensive, but it's something that it's unbelievably good. So, I mean, we try to develop many things. It's just hard to describe everything. But what is important is that you link our name Sensi to consistency and balance of the taste. We're very careful. Oh, who's the little one?
Sorry, anyways, they wanted to really thank you for the book. So
you want me to call mine?
You were just inviting us all to Italy, and my daughter's heard, and now they want to come. I wanted to thank you, Massimo.
Hello.
A book from Italy, a Pinocchio book.
Ciao, ciao.
Ciao, ciao.
Gorgeous.
Don't give one to them, please.
Ciao. Oh.
Okay, bye-bye, little girl. Show everyone what a good mom you are, because you're so well behaved. What a good mom I am. You're so well behaved. Go on, little children.
Don't forget to drink Governato before sleeping.
Yeah, Governato with Pinocchio. Okay, I'm sorry to not mean to cut you off. So tourism, when do you think, you were telling us, I think before we started, or you and I were talking, that wineries and maybe a little bit of tasting rooms and that sort of thing will open up next week, but we're not sure how it's going to go in terms of...
Well, no, it's correct. It's not a proper moment to plan a tasting traveling in Italy, of course, but it's going to happen. I mean, the world is keep turning, and I mean, it's important traveling and taste. But the first step is buying a bottle and open home. You know, I did for years and years, and to be honest, it's the best way to learn. You know, I think all of you can confirm that you take note home, you drink, you make your own opinion. You don't have to be shy, because wine, it's very personal, and any opinion is good. You know, I like when people are very critical to me. I've been educated to accept critics very easy. So, I mean, I'm more thankful to people that they say something even unpleasant to me. But most important is that it has to be true. If it's true, you're helping me. So that's my approach.
Well, fantastic, Massimo. Thank you so much. I want to open it up. I don't know if anybody has any questions or comments or anything that they want to say or add, but I'm super grateful that we had this time together and you're so open to speaking about your wines and having us all join in. And
I'm grateful.
A question on tourism. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
So you had mentioned the agriturismo, which is fantastic, but that's happening when? And in the meantime, are your properties available to visit?
Well, you can visit our property as soon as the frontiers are open. You can travel. Yes, you're welcome to visit. The agriturismo is open, so you can book. You can send an email, and we can book for you. And you know, in this summer or next summer, or depending when you want to come. And you can come anyway to taste our wines
Are all the wines available at each property to taste? Or are they specific?
Sure. No, you can taste, you can come and visit our headquarters or our property, and we can taste together.
Oh, excellent. Thank you.
This is a dream of ours.
I bring my friends.
The kids will be home with somebody, I don't know who.
Go to the airport now. Go to the airport now.
Yeah, we're all on our way.
The borders aren't open yet, so I think as soon as the border opens to the EU to Americans, there'll be a mad rush of people coming to you.
Yes.
You're based in Tuscany and you have a property in Veneto, and you're doing Brunello. Do you have any visions of Southern Italy or anywhere else in Italy?
Well, that's a good question. In Italy, we're doing. No, it's a nice question. We're doing some wines there, but let's say that the style that we're doing, it's more creating wines, different wines from south of Italy, like Primitivo, for example. We do have a Primitivo. Primitivo is very fruity, and but most of people, they like more and more Tuscany, because Tuscany is, it's an icon of Italy for wine. So we're concentrating more in our region. We make some other wines from other region, to be honest, to complete the portfolio for our partners, because they just say, you are so good with wine that we want all from you. It's a bit difficult. We partner with the growers, and we source the grapes, and we do some Primitivo, for example. But basically, we are Tuscan DNA, so we want to develop Tuscan wines. There's a lot to do. There's a lot to make, because again, there are a lot of grapes not used yet. So.
And Maria has a question. This is sort of a segue to what you just said. Do you feel more Tuscan or Italian in your identity?
Well, both. Tuscan, I cannot hide. In Italy, everyone is proud of his region, and I'm proud to be Tuscan. For example, my holidays, I'm traveling a lot for business, but my holidays are always spent, since I was a kid, like your daughters, in Tuscany. I just love my region. I'm sorry. I visited, all the countries in the world, but, when I'm home, I like to enjoy my region. And I think it's good. I just want to relax, and that's it. So yeah, definitely I feel very Tuscan, but the question probably want to touch another point, because every Italian sometimes say, oh, I feel more south, I feel more north, I feel more middle of Italy. I think it's a bit, I like to be friend of everybody in the world, so Italy is just my country. I'm okay with everyone, really. My wife actually is from Naples, so we have different ethnic vision in the family also. And Naples from Tuscany, it's different word. Just, North Pole, South Pole.
Massimo, the Rosato has a much smaller cork. Is that because you don't anticipate it for aging, or is there another reason why the cork is...
That's a reason, yes. Basically, it's a fresh wine. You have to drink, faster.
I guess I can try to do that.
Yeah, please. Please.
Can I?
Yeah. Free forum, whatever you like.
Yeah, please.
So I had another question about, I don't know, do you produce also in Chianti Classico, or do you only produce Chianti wines?
No, being representative of Tuscany and Chianti, of course, we produce in Chianti Classico with the same concept. We have growers. This system allows us to make the best choice. And we produce a Chianti Classico Riserva. Forziere is the name. And Chianti Classico is definitely very important in Tuscany. you can't mention Chianti without Chianti Classico. Gallo Nero is a, you know, superb expression of Sangiovese, as you know. So
yes.
yeah.
A follow-up question to this, because you were talking before, like about the 𝐶𝐸 and that you're also into discovering lesser-known grapes. So do you have any other plans, or do you already have some kind of experimental vineyard with, for example, Foglia Tonda, Pugnitello, or other woods that you want to?
Well, along with the 𝐶𝐸, we planted 3 years ago, actually, the Pugnitello.
Okay.
Pugnitello is another grape which has a good concentration, has a thick skin, thicker skin, and it's again very important for blends. But what we're trying to do in the Fattoria di Calappiano with the special grapes is to create a single vineyard wine. Because I think that more the appellation, Italy is full of appellations, but my approach to wine is that I think people want to discover the grape. They are bored about appellation.
Pugnitello, like a monovarietal, is very interesting because it has this kind of fruity mixed with a buttery taste. So it's very kind of particular as a wine. So
we just released the first 𝐶𝐸 wine for the local market. And also the next challenge is on the white wines. As you know, Tuscany is very hot in the summer.
Yeah.
So it's not easy to make white wine from white grapes. So we decided that we wanted to try, and we chosen 3 grapes: Vermentino, Petit Manseng, and Malvasia Aromatica. So with these 3 wines, we trying. I always say trying because you never know what's going on later, but we're trying to make quite a strong white wine. Strong means that not that, you know, too much strong on the palate, but strong means that it can have a structure to be aged, to be drunk in the time, and not just ready to drink, but only but even able to be drunk next year, for example, or in 2 years. And then we want to try with special fermentation technique, like fermented in barrel, you know, or you know, we just need to, you know, decide the last few things, you know. But the idea,
I think that would be. It would be interesting to taste them, so we would definitely come and visit you as soon as possible.
Sure.
And
You're welcome.
yes, James wants to know what's your flagship wine?
Well, flagship wine, it's actually one that, in my opinion, maybe because for me are all flagships, but one wine that we didn't mention, but I think is on top of our production, is Bolgheri. Bolgheri is a land on the seaside in Tuscany, close to south of the port of Livorno. Is a, you know, very tiny area, but it's making, I think, the best wines in Italy. I love Bolgheri. It's my, you know, it's my passion there. And well, the Bolgheri, it's really, wow, just came in?
This just in, yeah.
You made the magic. You made the magic.
Made the magic, the bottle.
Yeah. So the Bolgheri, it's outstanding. I mean, I wish you, maybe next time we do this live, I want to make sure you all of you have a bottle, because it's important that we taste together, because the Bolgheri, it's something that, you know, you taste and you understand, you know, it's another planet. And has been released for the business class of Singapore Airlines.
Nice.
Which is very difficult, I tell you, to achieve. We were competing with French Bordeaux. We were competing with a lot of great wines from the world, and the tasters, I mean, said, no, we want this. 2 vintages. They choose 2 vintages, 17 and 18. So I'm proud of Bolgheri, and it's also my taste. It's a blend of Cabernet Sauvignon, Merlot, and Sangiovese, but the Cabernet makes the difference, I have to say. Yeah. So
this is a date now. Next time we'll do the Bolgheri tasting.
no, next time we can dedicate 1 hour to Bolgheri. There's a lot to say about Bolgheri.
Fantastic. I want to be mindful of everyone's time. So and of course your time, because you're going on midnight now, Massimo, in Italy.
I don't know. I mean, I enjoy stay with you. So I mean, if you doesn't go for another 3 hours, you know, we can spend some more minutes, no problem.
Does anybody have any more questions or anything for Massimo? Comments? Yeah. Anybody want to be involved in the Bolgheri tasting?
You can book.
Well, fantastic. Thank you so much. And I'll follow up with Isabella, and maybe we can get some more information out about how people want to get the wines, distribution, maybe some of the other SKUs and that sort of thing. And we'll continue the conversation. And I'm personally grateful for everyone's time. This is a real treat. I do have to go. My babysitter leaves at 3. So unless you want those 2 little ones on my lap, it's okay. I can log off and you can all chat. But a great time, and a little escape from what's been a very difficult past few months, and for some of us years. So we're very grateful to spend this time with you all. Thank you so much. Ciao, ciao.
Molto grazie.
Ciao. Thank you very much. And see you next time.
Yeah, ciao.
Molto grazie, Massimo.
Ciao.
Ciao, grazie a voi. Grazie.
Buonanotte.
Ciao.
Buonanotte.
Buona serata.
Buonasera.
Ciao from Minnesota.
Stay safe, Minnesota.
Thank you. We're trying.